Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a special video where we're going to work on our author's notebooks. If you're not an author, then perhaps you can use this system to tailor it to whatever it is that you do. Okay, so first of all, this is my current author planner. Isn't it pretty? It's foiled. It's made by, what is that company? I got it out of Office Depot on sale in the clearance rack. I forget if it's Tool or something. I think it might be Tool. Yes, it is T-U-L. Oh, I don't know if you can see it because it's kind of big. It's a regular 8, if it's regular 8.5 by 11 paper, so I know that I won't be able to get the whole thing in the screen because my camera's not up high enough, and I could adjust it, but honestly I don't want to mess with my settings because it works perfectly for everything else. So currently in my author notebook, as you guys know, pretty much it's the same thing as always. I have my this print that I got from Plan With Me. I forget her name. Hold on. I have an entire album by her, so I can tell you her name. Also Paper Co. I printed it. It's a digital download. And then I just put it on a document protector, punched it, and put it in here. I have a goal sheet that was just an exercise that I did with other authors. We just kind of printed this doodle art from the internet and then just kind of filled in the information of what we plan to do as far as our goals for the month. And it was kind of a fun exercise. You might consider doing it with other author friends. Just look up Doodle Art Alley on, there we go, Doodle Art Alley on Google, and then you can print it out and just use it for any exercise that you're doing with either other authors or just, you know, people that you work with, co-workers. It's just kind of a fun way to set goals without it being so formal. All right, and then I have my daily tasks sheet, which is, this is kind of a catch-all. On this side is my writer stuff, which I have my daily tasks right now in Facebook groups that I want to visit, and then things I want to reschedule from that are being rescheduled from this year to next year or later on in this year. And then on this side, I have things that I want to do that are more personal and not work related. And this is die cut from the Honey Bee shop. And this washi tape, I don't remember, but it also might be from her shop. All right. I have a bunch of things clipped together because they're just other blank task sheets. And then I have my current work that I'm working on right now, which is a Highlander book called The Lion's Lair, and so I'm writing that right now. I think it's going to be a novella. So the next bunch of pages is pretty much just notes that I'm making and, you know, character sheets and just information for myself that have to do with this book that I'm writing. And then for some reason I just have a sheet with information about my typical day. Then a bunch of empty notebook pages that came with it. And the next section is the project section, and that's going to be all reworked actually because most of this information in here is changed because, why is it changed? Oh, because some of the projects are done and then one of them is moved to later in the year. So I kind of have to figure out, like, this one's already done. So I have to figure out what all I have to do for the rest of the year. And there's some more daily task. I can't say the word task, obviously. More daily task sheets. Oh my god, between my Mexican accent and the word, I can't say daily task sheets. Okay, there we go. I'm going to move these actually because they should not be back here. They need to be in the front area. They need to be up here with the other, here I go again, task sheets. If I think about it, then I do it pretty good. If I don't, then so I'm moving these. These actually came out of a Happy Planner notebook that I bought, and it just had the months, and then every month had like these task sheets in between, and I just kind of pulled them out to use in here. All right, like I said, the project section is going to be all revamped, and in the back, very back, sadness, is all my travel plans, and there's tabs for each one of the conventions I was going to attend, the hotel reservations and the registration proofs of registration that I paid for each one, things like that, and list of things that I needed to bring for each one. So that whole section is pretty much nixed out, except for I do have Nink which is supposed to be in September, and PenCon, which is also in September. I'm still waiting to hear about those. And then in June, I'm supposed to be going to the Lori Foster Reader Author Get Together. And again, I'm waiting to see what happens there. I'm not really holding my breath on that one, but who knows? By June, things might relax a little. I sincerely doubt it, but who knows? Okay, so let's see. I have these sheets that I'm going to be working on. All right, so first what I'm going to do is my writing schedule for the next quarter. So my writing schedule for, how should I put this? I don't think I can write on this, but if I turn it, I'm looking for a smooth surface. Here we go. That makes it easier. So this is my writing schedule for the next quarter, which, I'm sorry, I'm lying. I filled it out for the whole year. I have to do a Kanban board for the next quarter to put in here, but right now I am doing my writing schedule for the rest of the year. I did the outline of it with Sharpie Ultra Fine Point. It did bleed a little bit, but I'm not working on the back of the page, but just so you see, it does quite shadow pretty heavily on this tool paper. The paper came with the sheet, so if you use tool paper, if you use any paper you're going to write with a Sharpie, you should test it first. But just so you know, not only did it shadow horribly, but then it went through to my other sheet, so I'm going to rewrite this one, only because I'm so, I don't know, they're just little dots. I might just keep it. I don't know. I might change it. I'm that extra. All right, so let's talk about what's going on and what we're doing to adjust to the changes of this current world we are living. I honestly had a horrible time this is my 4th week going into self-isolation. The first 2 weeks, I was kind of a mess. Not like I was like, oh my God, I gotta get out. Not like that. It was more like I couldn't get my brain to settle enough to write or concentrate on anything. It was just like, I was like, party! I was just doing whatever I wanted. I just felt like, oh my God, I'm locked up. It's just like house arrest. How cool is this? I can just stay home and not worry about makeup and do this and that. And then I'm like, but I wasn't getting any work done. I thought at first, I'm going to get so much done. Well, no, I managed to declutter a few things, and that was only because I made myself do it. Otherwise, I didn't do hardly anything. So that means that April's pretty heavy and I have to really do some work. So first of all, like I said, I was supposed to have finished this book I'm working on. There was no reason not to finish it in March, but I was too busy having a quarantine party or something. I don't know what I was doing. I think for a lot of creatives, and I was speaking to people who are not just writers, but are other creatives that work from home, like artists that depend on their art to live by, to make a living, or, graphic artists, those kind of people that have used a lot of creativity. They were having a really hard time with this coronavirus thing. Because if for some reason we're getting so much information that it's just killing our vibe. It really is. It's overloading our little creative brains. Okay, so my plan is to finish this book. I'm doing my best to try to finish it by next week. I am going to finish it by next week. I am lowering the word count for it only because it's a fluctual word count on it, and I don't want to go into it and make it too long because I have other projects that need to be done, and because of the fact that I sloughed off and I know my limits, this book is going to suffer a little bit. Okay, and then I need to start the next book, which is, oh, here it is. I'm looking at, where's my list? Hopefully start on, so I'm going to finish it, and then I don't know if I'll be able to get edits done. I'm going to go ahead and put on here that I will get my edits done. But it might not be until the following month, depending on my editor's schedule. I am going to kind of bet on May. And then also I'm going to start my next writing project, which is called Flawed Scotsman. And this one is a full length, so I'm just going to put full length here. And this one I'm going to put novella length. Okay. I'm going to have to close my door. Hold on. Okay, so I closed the door, but in a minute I'm sure there'll be scratching at the door because my dogs don't like the door being closed, which is just so much fun. My husband just went back to work and it makes it hard for me because we have 4 very demanding dogs. One of them is old and blind, and he has a really bad bladder problem, and bless his heart, at least he does tell us he needs to go out, but it's constant, like every 30 minutes. So that's annoying. Okay, so I'm gonna write, the next book started, but I plan to write it the entire month of May. It's a full length, and it usually takes me about 6 to 7 weeks to write a full length. So since I'm giving myself maybe a week here and then 4 here, I'm probably not going to finish it till June. I do have a release in April, so let me add that on there. Let's see. I have my book Hellish Highlander is releasing in April. I'm so excited. It's the 3rd of this series that I just am about to write the next 3 for. And it's releasing on the 23rd. Okay. And then in May, I'm continuing to write The Flawed Scotsman. And also probably I'm going to release my own, what am I releasing? There's something I wanted to release. I have some novellas that I had in box sets, and what I'm going to do is start releasing them one by one on my own, just so that I can, oh, there we go. It's like I have notes everywhere, y'all. So that's why I keep looking over here to try releasing a novella HR. So Highlander release. It's supposed to be Highlander's Rose, but I think I'm going to change the title because I know what I'm going to call it. So it's Highlander's Bride. I have a cover. Honestly, I don't like it. I'm so cheap, I don't want to spend more money, but I think I'm going to send it back to her and tell her to change the hero, because he looks like, I don't know, there's something about the hero on the cover. His hair looks wonky, and so I might send it back and have her redo it. So I'm going to release that. I don't know what the date yet, so that's what I'm going to have down for May. In June, I'm going to put down that and then also I'm probably going to be editing Lion's Lair, so I'm going to put a arrow like this. Because, like I said, I honestly don't think that it's going to be edited, have time to be edited and everything in April, so it's probably going to be done here. I'm putting an arrow to remind myself to write it in. Okay. June, finish this book, and I'm also going to release a book called, I don't remember her name, but it's a Western. And it's one of the Bride books. So I'm going to release that, and this is also a novella. And then in July, I'm going to be well, first of all, I'm going to start, let's start right. Don't you, it's funny how you write what you're saying instead of what you really want to write down. It's so weird. Okay, so this one I'm going to write the 3rd book. Now this book, Flawed Scotsman, is going to release in July, April, May, June, July, yeah. So I'm going to write that here. Release Flawed Scotsman. I haven't even gotten the covers or anything for this, or even signed the contract, but this is going to be so full of whiteout. Good thing the whiteout almost matches it perfectly. Because when you talk and write, something else happens. Okay, so this is going to be writing the 3rd book, which is what? Fearless Rebel. All these books the Flawed Scotsman, Fearless Rebel, and Flawed Scotsman, Fearless Rebel, and Lion's Laird are all with Dragonblade Press. I'm going to edit. I'm going to put here edits on Flawed. Oh, I already put that. It's supposed to release. Whoa. Okay, if I'm going to write it here and finish it in June, how is it going to be released in July? Okay. If I write it here, I have to finish it in June. They're probably going to want it end of May, honestly. I'm going to be writing, I don't know how that's going to work. I have to release here, so I have to edit it here. I have to finish it. So I'm going to write it here. Finish. Flawed Scotsman. There's no way that it can release in July and me not finish it in June. So I'm going to be in writing hell. I'm putting edits there. Okay, so then I'm going to write Fearless Rebel here in July. And then that's going to be my main focus because this one is supposed to release in... Okay, so then release Flawless Scotland. So they're spaced 3 months apart. So July, August, September, October. So this is when I have to finish and edit on Fearless Rebel. So did I... You know, this is when you start thinking, okay, how many words am I going to be needing to write a day? Because they have to be at least, I want to make them about 70K. And then if I write Flawed here, that means I have to finish it. So I'm giving myself 6 weeks, which is good. Kinda. And then I have to start Flawless. Flawed. Flawless. What the hell am I talking about? I'm just making my own titles. I'm like, whoa. I just wrote the same thing twice. I'm just thinking out loud, so I'm just giving you an insight of how this is supposed to work. I know what the release dates are, so I should plan backwards from that. Okay, so the release of Flawed Scotsman is in July. Okay, hi. I'm doing a voiceover because I needed to put her out of her misery and put you guys out of, suffering with her. Poor me. Anyways, I should have had a calendar from the beginning to figure out my timelines, and what I did while I'm writing it out now is looking at a calendar and making sure that the dates and times and all that work. So it's a little bit of a better outline for the rest of the year. It still needs a little bit of tweaking. So I do have the Lion's Lair that I will be finishing and then turning in April for edits, and then I will be getting it back in May. I also put down to start Flawed Scotsman, and I gave myself the word count to ensure that by the end of May I will have at least 70K, which is my goal for that book. I also am releasing Hellish Highlander in April and Highlander's Bride, at least that's what the tentative title is, in May. In June I will be finishing on the edits and rewrites of Flawed Scotsman, and then starting the next book, which is Fearless Rebel. I also gave myself a word count and a deadline for 70,000 words. Release a Western novella in June. I am still on the fence on that because I might be writing 3 and then releasing those. I am not sure yet. In July, I put down that I will be finishing Fearless Rebel, rewrites on it, and also the release of Flawed Scotsman. On August, edits on Fearless Rebel, write Pearl, which is part of a project, and also release a box set of one of my series. in August, I am planning to, no, I'm sorry, I have a release of Flawless Godman. The release of the box set is in August. And then, what else am I writing? I'm kind of ahead of myself. September, I am going to be writing Fierce Archer, edits on Pearl. And then I just kind of made notes for the following, for the rest of the year on things that I knew that I kind of had to do. But if you know, most project management, you kind of have to do it kind of fluid for the last part when it's too far away for you to know exactly how it's going to go. So usually I review this writing schedule every 3 months, so I will be reviewing it again end of June, beginning of July, but for now I finally am happy with how it ended up. So now I'm going to be working on my Kanban board, which is on my wall right next to my desk. I will be inserting a picture of it at the very ends for you guys to see. But what a Kanban board is, just a board that has your to-dos, what you're working on, and things that are accomplished. And as you move the sticky notes down your board, it gives you like a good sense of accomplishment. So right now, I'm doing it on paper, but I will be, of course, putting it on my wall. And like I said, I will insert a picture at the very end for you guys to see. So just kind of breaking it down to the main tasks that I have. So the to-dos are Flawed Scotsman, writing and then writing how much the word count is, and then also the edits of it and the due dates. And then in the pink sticky notes, I'm writing the Lion's Laird info, and in the green sticky notes, I'm writing the 3 newsletters that I will be releasing. And then in the purple stickies, the extra releases I'll be doing on my own. And then I'm also going to use some yellow ones to do the promotions, because I plan to do promote one main thing a month, I'm sorry. So, to remind me to do my promos for the month. And usually I do four promos, because I do promos on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and usually about the same thing. And so that's my Kanban board. And like I said, I'll insert a finished product for you to look at. And so so I hope this video was helpful. Have a good one and take care of yourself. Stay safe and healthy. Talk to you soon. Bye.